What's up everyone, this is Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm graduating in 2 weeks time. Today's video, I want to share with you guys my experience of using the MacBook Pro as a student. If you guys have questions like whether you should get a Mac, what kind of Mac you should use, and what is good for you, I hope that whatever I have to share today will help you make these decisions. So these are the things I'll be covering. Stay to the end for some cost saving tips because I know that Macs are usually very expensive. I started university with my 2011 13-inch MacBook Air, and that lasted me for a good 2 years. It was only until my third year in university when there was a course that I took that demanded at least an 8 gig RAM in my computer, which I didn't have. So that was when I decided to upgrade to the 2016 MacBook Pro 15-inch. Ultimately, it really depends on what you're studying, what you need your computer for. So I was in university for marketing and psychology. So most of my work revolved around readings, research, presentations, videos for the presentations, and other things I used my Mac for were watching videos on YouTube and Netflix. So I went with the 256GB version, and this was enough for me to store my homework. But I think that if you're going to college for video editing or graphics intensive stuff, I think 512GB would be better for you, because really 256 is just enough for me. If you need the space, do not cheap out and just upgrade to get whatever you need, because you cannot add on more space after you've purchased this. I got 16 gigs of RAM on this baby. Some of you may be wondering what RAM is. The higher the RAM allows you to have better multitasking capabilities. So when I'm doing research for my papers, opening millions of Chrome tabs are actually just fine, and everything went pretty smooth for multitasking. So the weight. This is actually a pretty heavy laptop, but it's actually lighter than its predecessors. So this was actually slightly heavier than my MacBook Air. So if I only have one or two classes, I usually do not carry around a charger with me so that I can lighten the weight load. But honestly, the chargers aren't really that heavy. But whatever they can lighten off, lighten off. You don't want your shoulders to suffer like mine. On a day when I'm doing like homework, so basically reading, research, taking down notes, and writing my essays, and very minimal time on watching videos, I'm able to survive a good 8 to 10 hours on this baby. But if I am doing video editing or watching a lot of Netflix or video content, I can only probably last 4 to 5 hours without a charger. I came from MacBook Air, and I really enjoyed how the keys felt under my fingers. But with this MacBook Pro, the keys are so freaking loud. In your face loud, but you get used to it. And if you're the only one typing in class, everyone will know that you are making the loudest. When I actually had used this to type out my answers, I was the one that was annoying every single person in the room. And yep, I'm just the annoying one typing so loudly. I know that some people don't like how the butterfly keyboard feels like, but I got used to it. So if you are the type of person that needs to be happy with the way your keyboard feels, I would say that you should probably go to the stores to test it out. You can actually test it out at any Apple retail stores for free. Yeah, that's what I usually do. But there are issues about this keyboard, and I'll cover that in a bit. The trackpad. I need to say that the trackpad feels so amazing. So one of the reasons that I fell in love with the Mac was the trackpad. I previously came from an Asus laptop, and when I switched over to the 2011 MacBook Air, wow, I need to say that the user experience on the trackpad really changed my life, and I really loved how intuitive it feels, and the gestures are just great. And with the upgrade to the 15-inch MacBook Pro 2016 version, the trackpad is so huge, but it feels so great. And I think that if you get the Mac, you will absolutely love your trackpad. Even though now I'm using a mouse to help with my ergonomics, but I cannot live without the trackpad. The gestures are just the touch bar. So I got the 15-inch MacBook Pro with the touch bar. A lot of people felt that it was a gimmick, that Apple is just doing that to try to attract sales. And I know that a lot of people say that they don't really use them. But after 2 years of using this touch bar in university, I would say that the touch bar is quite useful. I use it a lot for my readings and taking down notes. So in the native preview app where you open PDF, I use the shortcuts on the touch bar to highlight and type notes on my readings. And also one of the things I use the touch bar for is to skip ads on Safari on YouTube. And yeah, I know it's a silly thing to use the touch bar for, but it's really cool that you can skip ads. Next, the display. Okay, let me just explain. Because I came from the 2011 MacBook Air, even though it was such a classic, and the small screen actually gave me a more intimate feeling with my computer. But let me just say, the 15-inch Retina display on MacBook Pro was really an amazing upgrade. I multitask a lot on my Mac, especially when I'm doing readings. I like to type on Microsoft Words or Pages. I like to have multiple windows open. I can see more of my things organized properly. You wouldn't have to squint your eyes and go forward just to look for things. Eye care, ergonomics, these are very important things to me because these are things that you can't fix if they get broken. Yep. And I need to say, the first thing that I was so impressed by this was how loud the speaker is and how good it is. I'm not kidding. I wouldn't call myself an audiophile, but I love listening to music. When I play music or movies on this computer, wow, I need to say the bass is so good. The music sounds so good. How loud, you may ask? So I was presenting to a class of maybe 50 people and I couldn't get the audio system in my class to work. So what I did was I used this MacBook Pro and I upped the volume to the max. Everyone in the class could hear it loud and clear, and I just thought how amazing this is. This MacBook Pro rocks. Only 4 USB-C ports and nothing else. No SD card slots, no USB 3.0 ports. I don't use a hub. I got a couple of these adapters which I stick permanently to my USB hard drive so that you can just put it in and you can make use of all 4 ports. This is an adapter for the SD card. It has both USB-C and USB 3.0 adapters. So if you haven't already heard, this generation of MacBook Pros that come with the butterfly mechanism keyboards have a lot of problems, a lot of issues with the keyboard, and it's so terrible that Apple even issued a keyboard replacement program as long as it's within 4 years of purchase. Correct me if I'm wrong because they may have changed it, but that was what I heard and what I saw, and I actually had to make use of it because, okay, so the problem I face is with sticky keys. I can't really show you here because my keyboard is fixed and repaired, but if you Google MacBook Pro 2016 keyboard issues, I am sure you'll see many examples with sticky keys and other keyboard issues. I personally face this problem on and off, and before my final examinations, I decided to bring the MacBook Pro to the Apple Store to get it fixed and replaced. After replacement and repair, it's pretty good. But you have to take into account that if you are going to bring this into the Apple Store to get the keyboard replaced, it takes like 3 to 5 working days. But I would say that their service is pretty good. And when they say they change your keyboard, they don't just change the mechanical keys. They actually change the entire top case, which is this thing. And that actually includes your battery as well. So it's pretty good because you get a newer battery, which is always good. Thank you for staying to the end. If you've watched till here, I have some cost-saving tips for you guys because as you know, MacBook Pros are expensive. I survived so much on my 13-inch MacBook Air, and 2019 MacBook Airs are actually pretty good. So if you want to save some money, you can look at the 13-inch MacBook Airs. The MacBook Air is cheaper, lighter, it comes in gold. But if you're doing heavy graphic stuff, I would definitely recommend getting the MacBook Pros. And in some countries with the education pricing, you can actually get about 5 to 10% discount off your Mac. And because now is the back to school season, Apple does this yearly. You actually get free Beats Studio 3 wireless when you buy a Mac. And you can definitely sell the Beats Studio 3 off on a website like eBay if you want to save some cost on your Mac. Storage space. Storage space is one of the most expensive spec bomb on your Mac. You may have to pay like about $1,000, $2,000, or sometimes even up to $4,000 more just to get the highest spec for storage space. Now, this is expensive because it's much faster and quieter than HDD. But if you're a video editor or use a lot of storage space, don't worry. You can always buy one of these T5 or T3 Samsung SSD You can definitely get this for cheaper depending on where you buy it from. I actually got this on a very good deal, about $180. Use it for anything you want because they run on USB-C. So it is very fast. It's almost as fast as working on your Mac. And basically I edit all my videos off these Samsung T5. So yes, I know that the MacBook Pros are very expensive. All Apple products are generally expensive, but they have really good resale value. So I bought my old MacBook Air, the 2011 version, for about 1.8K, and after heavy usage, I use it almost every day and I had little scrapes. Managed to sell it off at about $600 after 6 years of use. Throughout the past 8 years of using the Mac, I really enjoyed using this. This baby is my favorite amongst everything that I've used. One of the good things is that you get to enjoy the free Mac OS upgrades every single year. It's really a personal preference. I love my Mac because of the OS, the gestures, and how intuitive it is. And if you're into video editing, some of my friends actually got the Mac because it comes with iMovie, so you don't really have to buy Adobe Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro to learn. But I need to say that I absolutely miss gaming on my laptop. So with a MacBook, you cannot game. I used to be so addicted to gaming. I used to install Bootcamp on my MacBook Air, the less powerful one. I would play games such as Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty on it. It was so bad for my MacBook Air. My Air was trying so hard to keep up with running all the programs, the graphics, the games, and the fan was running so loud, and basically my Mac was trying its best to play the games. Anyway, I hope that this video helps if you are deciding whether to get a Mac or a MacBook Pro for school or any other purposes. Comment below if you have different experience from mine in using the Mac, because I think it would really help others. Let me know if you have any questions and I will try my best to help you. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I make new videos every single week, so stay tuned and I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay minty and cherry. Bye! I really want to thank anyway, thank you for watching. I really want to thank all my new subscribers and welcome you guys. I really hope that this will help you guys. Okay.